Hey, this is Valerie Love. How are you? I wanted to share with you a little bit today about my journey as a Christian witch and how I got here and how I came to that and what's really going on. And one of the reasons why I'm having this conversation with you is because I have a Christian Witch Reveals What Religion is Really All About video on YouTube, and it gets so much conversation around it, a lot of conversation around it. So I love the dialogue. I love the openness of having good conversation around things that really matter, things that are important. And one of the most important things that we can do in life, one of the most important things that you can do in life is stand up and be all of who you are, regardless of what people say, regardless of religion, regardless of your teachers, regardless of your parents, regardless of your clan, the people that you grew up with, regardless of all of that. One day, you've got to know within yourself, you've got to stand up and within yourself be all of who you are created to be. And when you make that bold, that heretical decision to really stand in who you are and to really express it, be it, walk it on the planet, live it, something amazing happens. All of a sudden, you're not so concerned about what other people think. It's funny how that happens. All of a sudden, you're not so consumed, with what will they think of me. That thought used to absolutely eat away at the fabric, the very fabric of my soul. What will they think? Who's they? I don't know who they is, but whoever they is doesn't matter. What matters is that you live your divine calling. What matters is that you live your divine destiny. One of the spirit guides that I talked to on the other side, his name is Arcturus. And Arcturus says this, that before you came here into this time, space, third dimensional continuum, this time, space reality, as we call it, this linear kind of life in the third dimension, before you came here, you, of course, were in spirit, without form, and you chose to pour yourself, to somewhat constrict yourself, dense, take on levels of density. You came through levels of density, and you became a form being. Yes? Now, that didn't cause your spirit self to go away. Your spirit self is simply now in form as a human being, as we call it. Okay? So before you did that, before you made that step, you created a divine destiny plan. When you were on the other side, before you were born onto this earth school, you created a divine destiny plan, and you created this divine destiny plan with a team of guides and spirit helpers and people on the other side, beings, not people, beings on the other side who supported you in creating a plan for your life, a divine destiny plan for your life that would have one goal and one goal only: the evolution of your soul, so that you wake up to who you are, evolve, and understand the purpose of all existence. The purpose of all existence is to know thyself and come into complete oneness with source, with where we came from, oneness with the creator. So for me, as a witch, as a magician, I practice, I guess, what they call high magic. I've heard it referred to as high magic. I don't really have any kind of name to describe it. It's just magic with an intention for me. And the magic, the intention of the magic in my world and in my spiritual walking experience is one thing: not to create stuff so much as to evolve consciousness, to ascend the consciousness. And along the way, as your consciousness continues to ascend and as you become more evolved spiritually, you begin to notice that you have more conscious uh, control and ability to manifest in the third dimension. You begin to draw things to you, becoming an incredibly attractive, magnetic being, and you begin to master some things in the third dimension. The more you spiritualize your consciousness, the more you master the third dimension. So anyway, before you came here, your soul created that on the other side. It created the divine destiny plan. Now, you are completely at choice. You don't have to live the divine destiny plan. You don't have to live what you created on the other side before you came here. That's up to you. You get to if you want to. You don't have to. Nothing's a have to in the universe. It's a I get to. Well, in my walk, I wrote in to my plan to hang out with a group of fundamentalist Christians called Jehovah's Witnesses for 26 years. So that was sort of my path for a number of years. I wrote it in for a span to walk with a group of fundamentalist Christians. Now, when I was little, I always knew something was going on with me because I would look around and I just felt like I didn't quite belong. I didn't really have the answer to what that meant. I didn't understand it. And one thing I can remember when I was little that my mom used to tell me all the time, stop staring at people. Because I had this way of looking at people. And I wasn't trying, and people got so uncomfortable when I looked at them that way. When I was looking, I could see. I could see things. I could see things in grown people that I don't even know, a lot of times as a kid, I didn't know what I was even looking at. But I could see grown people and the stuff that they did. Like if one was with somebody else's husband, like I could see all that stuff. And I remember looking at my friends, my mom's friends, and just kind of looking at them. And my mom's friends would tell her, you better tell that child to stop looking at me like that. And I wasn't trying to do anything. I was simply observing. And I was a keen observer. So I have known from when I was little that I was not a muggle, as you could say in Harry Potter. And muggles are people that just don't know magic. And I knew I was magical from when I was little. I didn't understand it. And so as I grew and as I began to become more aware of subtle energies and studied and meditated and prayed and asked, Spirit, what is my path? What is this about? I love Christ and I love the teachings of Christ and He is my master teacher, the one that I have and hold in my consciousness as the ideal. Like He had it. He got it. And He said, you can do the same thing, even greater than this you can do. You can do the same thing because the power is in you and you're looking outside of you for the power. You'll never find it. You have the power to do this. The very same thing and even greater works than these shall you do. What does that mean? It means that on some level inside you is a power maybe greater than you could have ever even imagined. Maybe greater than any of us can imagine. There is a power in us that is the God power that is time enough for anything in your life. Way bigger and way more powerful than anything you'll ever come upon. Anything. So as I, kept on in my walk and I knew I had to come away from the witnesses because that wasn't it. And I knew that in my study, and I studied the Egyptian pantheon of gods and goddesses. I studied the Greek pantheon of gods and goddesses. And when I was in school, one of my favorite things was Greek mythology. I loved studying Greek mythology. Didn't know then it's because I'm a witch. I was born a witch and that's just the nature of who I am. And as I just kept going through life, I got to be more and more and more in touch with the real me. More and more in touch with the real me. And it's a beautiful thing. The more you come in touch with the real you. So I invite you to be in this life authentically. It's not easy. Here's the big thing that came up for me, which is why I wore veils and masks and spent a lot of my time hiding and shrinking and running from who I was and not accepting who I was. Here's why. Oh, hell no, I'm not going to be a witch. I was already burned at the stake once for that. No, thank you. You ain't got to burn me twice at the stake. I don't think so. So there's all those soul memories going on, in us that cause us to be afraid, that cause us to not step out. But that's what your soul came here to evolve beyond. That's what your soul came here to overcome, to master. That's the soul yearning and longing to know its invincibility, to know its eternality, to know its divinity. And as we come into full awareness with our own eternality, divinity, invincibility, we ascend and we become one with the one. And I guess you could call that enlightenment, or I guess you could call that Christ by the river Jordan. The Holy Spirit coming down like a dove, or Buddha sitting by the tree and having the enlightenment. Whatever you call it, it's that thing where you know you are one with Source. Yes, this is it. This is why your soul came here. So for you to get in alignment with your soul and for you to live in soul integrity, release all of your investment in the personality and the ego. The personality and the ego. Because the personality, the name, how you comport yourself on the planet, what faces you wear, all that stuff, that's one thing. Deeper than that is the soul's yearning. And if I had chosen personality over the soul's yearning, I'd still be trying to fit into, a bunch of people that just wasn't it for me. There was a reason I was there for the time I was there. And then after that, when it was over, it was time to move on. And so now I come to understand myself as a witch, as one who loves Christ, and as one who loves all of life. Three things a witch means for me. One, reverence for all life. That means reverence for the animal kingdom. That means reverence for the fairy kingdom, the angelic kingdom, the mineral kingdom, the gnome kingdom, the elf kingdom. It's reverence for all life. The star children, the galactic families all throughout the universe. It's reverence for all life. Number two, it means for me that I live knowing that my mind, my will, and my words form a wand that causes me, by God-given ability, to be able to affect change in the physical universe. A witch knows that. A witch knows that her mind, her will, and her words can effect a change in the physical environment, in the physical experience of life. And thirdly, for me, a witch means harm none. Harm none. That I have a vow of harmlessness that I've taken, and it springs from love and compassion. That's what it means for me. And I was born this way. I was born a witch. Like Lady Gaga said, born this way. Baby, I was born this way. And I get to accept and embrace myself, and I get to love on myself, all aspects of myself, regardless of clan, regardless of teachers, regardless of school, regardless of pastors and preachers, regardless of religion, regardless of all of that. So I invite you to stand up in the fullness of who you are. The globe needs all of us to be all of us. I'll say it again. This planet, all souls present, require all of us to be all of us. And this is how we all grow and ascend and evolve the soul back to one, back home, to being one with the one. Thank you. I'm Valerie Love. I love having this chat with you. Visit me online at liveyourdestinytoday.com. Not tomorrow, today. Procrastination is a terminal illness. I love you. Be blessed.